Hi, I'm Rayne Redgrave and that light's freaking out back there. I think it's just on the camera. Okay. Um, we're back with What Remains of Edith Finch. Did I even say... Yeah, I think I did. I'm fine. Okay. What an intro, huh? Okay, we finished with Grandpa Sam. That's the granddad done.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
There you go. Just walk around, check out. What this? Can I look closer at this? Okay. Well, that's the granddad. So, where do I go from here? You can tell I haven't played this in a long time. Then again, it wasn't much of a getting stuck on the bear's head. Let me just make sure there's nothing to, no. I always hate that. Anytime I go to talk for a extended period of time, my throat just goes, nope. On the way. How do I get up to the other part? No, the progression is a case of it tends to stem off from where you don't go up again. Yeah. Okay, oh wow. Ah. Oh, careful. Just mind where you step.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Yeah. Ooh, awesome. Okay, this one's gonna get sad. Bring out the tissues. Oh, no, I didn't want to put it down. I was reading it. Lady. Okay, so Sam... Go,
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
Hold on, sweetie.
Uh-huh.
Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Uh-huh.
Damn it.
I wish you could have told us about the world he saw.
Well, you know, babies have imaginations. Little worlds become so weird.
About Gregory. About everything. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Cracking start. Gregory, Dawn, Gus. That's, Edith's mom.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus,
Mhm.
who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
I didn't mean to destroy the words.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that
I
I
now
remembered.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the
Ooh.
time for photos came, Dad ordered him to
Come here.
But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Defiant, I like it.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. Rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
I feel I should have been part of the X-Men. Oh,
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
what's exactly happened? Doesn't make sense. Did he get swept up?
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Oddly enough, apparently my mum didn't even think that she was going to have a boy. Might sound odd. Apparently she had my name picked out and everything.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
Oh boy.
At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
Understandable. This is an adventurous way to get to your bed. So much adventure. Oh la la. What's this? You got a Bible?
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Ooh, I'm gonna burst
Religion
into a
was another
flame.
thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Any more tidbits? That's nice. It's creative. Alright, okay, I'm gonna
My
do
mom moved
this.
to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English.
Well, that is a job.
Louis was born a year later.
Ah.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
we had a little herb garden here. Alright, little people.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
Of course.
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
And to treasure each.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
Oh, wow.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
The controllers doing this weird thing. Made me feel like I'm actually flicking this little book.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
You're an artistic touch yourself. Okay, no way but down.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Guess that's what we want to do. Seal the doors. Oh, no.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
What if he got locked behind the door? Scary thought. Such... Oh, it's gorgeous. Arriba. Up.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself.
Yeah.
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
These stairs go to nowhere. So we go this way. I remember last time I played this, which was a while back, that I actually went up those stairs and went, where do I go from here? And we get in, oh, there's a hookah pipe.
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar.
Why?
That part of him lived on.
Mary Jane. No, lady. Get your butt back in there, please. Butt. And here, move. Move. I looked around. That's all I did. Ooh, psychedelic. Oh,
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was
This-
surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
not good wording. That or perfect wording. I don't know. This one's pretty sad.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about.
I'm trying to multitask here. This is hard.
Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused.
Sorry, I have to move
Like a whole new Lewis.
one
So I let him go on.
stick for the fantasy, and oh god, it's
I
got
even
bigger.
encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
It's a doggo.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
Awesome. That's what you want on here.
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality.
In there.
Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a
Let's go, Prince.
beautiful prince. The prince was on his own quest for sinister serpents. He followed the sound of his electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
It's getting quicker. The chopping.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Okay, let it go.
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Wow. Well, which one of these is yours?
We began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker.
Must smell
He
delightful in
began to
here.
despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
This is whimsical. Just,
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising.
caution for the end. I'm sorry. This one's a little closer to home for myself, I guess.
His prince waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do.
All music.
Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
I'll admit that one's a smidge too close for myself. Like the thing is that
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
your mum was an author.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time.
Yeah. Are these little origami birds or something?
Maybe it should have come sooner.
Yeah, maybe.
But it had to end one way or another. All
Wait.
that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
What's this? Your room? I love it. Sorry. Alright.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. until supper when she raised her glass and said,
To our final night together, and all our final nights apart.
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
She left something.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
Enemy squeeze. Okay, secretly, I would love a house like this. Don't ask, I would.
The thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house.
True that.
Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful.
I bet.
No, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it.
Don't ask, I've got a weakness
When
for
the fog rolled in,
old
I
people.
lost my way. I got turned around. I started seeing things.
Oh, here we are. Oh, a deer.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
Possible. Oh.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine!
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. She got better for a while, and then she didn't.
That's kind of how that one goes.
And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
I guess we're going this way.
This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Born in 99, huh? And on Valentine's Day? Yeah, let me take it a little sec. Understand that some of this may have hit home for anyone who comes across the videos. One story in particular for myself hits me because it is a personal experience. Not exactly something I want to go into, but I can understand why people would feel a certain way toward it. I just realized it's all of the team as children. Oh, you got a Game Boy, dude? Ugh. I should still have my Game Boy. Wait a sec. I'm just gonna whistle here. This cable. Back here in no time. Pokemon Red. I got the yellow and silver. I gave my gold one to my sister. She really liked Ho-Oh. And she had a mad fascination with birds anyway, so what can I say? So, yeah. See? batteries in you, did I? No, I took them out. Still works, it's just they run on batteries. I used to get the little attachment thing to put in here, and didn't need batteries when I wasn't, you know, out and about. So yeah, I've even got the bigger one somewhere. It's hiding from me, I think. Yeah, I think it is hiding from me. But anyway, yeah. I did say I had a little bit of okay, the little sad faces. But girl, what are you doing with a shotgun? Is that a real one or a toy one? Couldn't tell. I can't tell. Yeah. So Neil Druckmann, you playtested this? Oh, I want to look at the rest now. Oh. You can tell who. Enjoy. Thank you. Yeah, I know the replay story things there. So, anyway. It's a journey. That's basically what this little game is. It doesn't go very many places, but it takes you to locations that aren't on any map, really, are they? I hope you enjoyed this little break. I know I put a poll up, and there appears to be a vote on it, so looks like it may be going that direction. So yeah, I know I need to put a little disclaimer on a video that's not quite up yet, and that it was musing, but I won't do that. Musing of games I could play. So this little break, hope you enjoyed it. As trying and emotional as it is. But all the same, please do leave a like and subscribe and look after yourself. You have yourself a good day. Go do something crazy within reason, and I'll see you in whatever I play next. I put 2 options up. I felt maybe my last poll wasn't too refined, but I am someone for options.